Yes, good day class. I'm back again. Now in today's video we're going to consider another important lemma, as important as the Roy's identity. The next one is the shepherd's lemma. The shepherd's lemma. Now the shepherd's lemma is a lemma that is used in deriving the HICKSIAN or the compensated demand functions. Now for the shepherd's lemma, it is applicable when you have the expenditure function. So when you have an expenditure function given for you, you will be asked to either derive the compensated demand function or the HICKSIAN demand function. How can you go about this? Just know this, that from the expenditure function, you will be expected to use the shepherd's lemma to find the HICKSIAN or the compensated demand function. Whereas, from the indirect utility function, you will be expected to use the Roy's identity to derive the Marshallian demand or the ordinary demand function. These are the two differences that exist between them. Now, the shepherd's lemma. The shepherd's lemma states that for the HICKSIAN demand function for X, using shepherd's lemma, for commodity X, the HICKSIAN demand function X raised to the power of H, the HICKSIAN demand function for commodity X, according to the shepherd's lemma, is equal to the partial derivative of the expenditure function with respect to the price of X, just like that. Now with this, the HICKSIAN demand function for commodity X is equal to the partial derivative of this function with respect to X. Here you have the power of Px is half. 1 over 2 times 2 over 1. Then Px raised to the power of 1 over 2 minus 1. Py raised to the power of half u. 2 cancel itself up and down. Now what you have here, half minus 1. You have Px half minus 1. Half minus 1 is minus half. You have minus half. Then you have Py raised to the power of half u. This is over 1. This one is over 1. This one is over 1 for clarity. Now, with the laws of indices, this can be written as the HICKSIAN demand function for commodity X is now equal to, this can be written as the reciprocal 1 over Px raised to the power of half times Py raised to the power of half over 1 times u over 1. To make it more simpler, you have P raised to the power of half, Py raised to the power of half, u over Px raised to the power of half. So now this is now the HICKSIAN demand function, or let's make it clear. The HICKSIAN demand function for commodity X is now equal to half, half, they are common. So this can be written as Px raised to the Px over, sorry, Py over Px all raised to the power of half, then u. The HICKSIAN demand function, as you know, is a function of the two prices and the utility. So this is the HICKSIAN demand function for commodity X using the shepherd's lemma. Now for commodity Y, commodity Y, HICKSIAN demand function for commodity Y is equal to the partial derivative of the expenditure function with respect to the price of commodity Y. This can be written as, from there the power of Py is 1 over 2. That is 1 over 2 times 2 over 1. Px raised to the power of 1 over 2. Py raised to the power of 1 over 2 minus 1. The general rule of differentiation. So now you have the HICKSIAN demand function for commodity Y is equal to 2 cancel itself. You have Px raised to the power of 1 over 2, Py raised to the power of negative half. We have u here from there. We have u here. So now this can be written with the inverse according to the laws of indices. Now you have y raised to the power of h is equal to px raised to the power of half over py raised to the power of half. Then u. Now for clarity, this can be written as the HICKSIAN demand function for commodity y is equal to px over py all raised to half, then the utility function. So now if you look at it very, very well, you also discover that just as the Marshallian demand functions were identical, the same thing applicable to the HICKSIAN demand functions. The HICKSIAN demand functions are also identical, just that there's a lot of manipulations. Here you have py, px, while here is px, py. If you solve and you have something identical of this nature, you know that you are not far from the correct answer. But also remember that for a HICKSIAN demand function is a function of the two prices and utility, whereas for the Marshallian demand function is a function of one price and the income. Thank you so much for watching this video. I always appreciate your encouragement and ways you try to reach out to me. Please always share my videos, like and comment, and do well to reach out to me for other complicated areas and topics that we solve and make it more simpler for you to understand. Thank you so much for watching. Don't stop. So now any minutes.